Justin Fields, a dual-threat, explosive quarterback who lit up the game at the collegiate level. Coming out of Ohio State and entering the modern-day NFL, fans and analysts were losing their minds at the potential of the emerging Buckeye.
I'm watching Justin Fields play. That kid is going to be the best quarterback from that class. In fact, I think he already is. Tell me I'm wrong.
With a play style that could shred defenses through the air and on the ground. Sadly, now in his third season as the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, there is no sign of progress, and many people believe Fields is getting worse and now possibly becoming one of the biggest busts in NFL history. This is how the Chicago Bears have ruined Justin Fields' career. As we all know, the Chicago Bears were the worst team in football in 2022, and Justin Fields' ability to take off and run was about the only thing worth celebrating. That and their position in the upcoming NFL draft. I mean, hell, that season Fields became only the third quarterback in the history of the NFL to manage a 1,000 rushing yard season, joining Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson on an elite list. However, the Bears' passing game literally sucked, and they tried to fix it, but they were all terrible attempts to try and fix this offense. The Bears clearly needed to bring in some options for Fields to target downfield. And I mean, listen to these guys they had. Literally, Darnell Mooney had been about the only option at wide receiver. And don't get me wrong, Cole Kmet emerged in the second half of the year as a favorite target for Fields. But outside of that, Velus Jones barely saw the field. And I mean, don't even get me started on Chase Claypool. The trade was questionable to say the least. The out-of-favor receiver had regressed from his rookie year in Pittsburgh, and the Bears bailed the Steelers out of the draft by sending them what would eventually become the 32nd pick in the NFL draft to acquire him. Fast forward to week 5 of the 2023 NFL season, and Claypool is already off the team. Having been a healthy scratch for most of the season, he would eventually be sent to the Miami Dolphins for literally next to nothing. And I mean, when you consider some of the recent trades teams have made for wide receiver talent, including the DeAndre Hopkins trade to Arizona, Devontae Adams to Las Vegas, and Amari Cooper to Cleveland, trading for Chase Claypool and sending such a high draft pick in this trade feels extremely underwhelming. Thankfully, Bears GM Ryan Poles redeemed himself in the 2023 offseason by sending the first overall pick to the Carolina Panthers that included talented wideout DJ Moore. The Bears finally had an elite level wide receiver for their quarterback and plenty of draft capital for the future drafts. I mean, the haul they got was just, it was awesome, but it creates a very interesting dynamic for the situation they have at quarterback. By passing on the likes of Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson and trading away that #1 pick, the Bears bought Justin Fields another year. But with both their own and Carolina's first round pick in 2024, there is absolutely no doubt that if things don't work out, congratulations, Caleb Williams, you're a Chicago Bear. Going into this year, the hype for Justin Fields was huge.
He was the #1 prospect in high school ahead of Trevor Lawrence. There were teams in the National Football League who took Zach Wilson and Trey Lance ahead of him in the same draft. Think about the world that we are living in. Justin Fields going to prove everybody wrong, except me. I will have been right all along.
He had a genuine wide receiver #1. He had proven himself as one of the most threatening running quarterbacks in football. And Chicago had spent their first rounder on Darnell Wright, who would contribute to a better offensive line and further support for their young quarterback. Hell, I even posted a video prior to the season suggesting that Fields might even have an MVP caliber season. And well, yeah, needless to say, the comments coming now, they're really inspirational, guys, so keep them coming, thanks. But look, he's the type of quarterback who fits the mold in the modern day NFL. He has a great arm, he can scramble, he's dangerous, but after the first few weeks, maybe I was wrong, like really wrong. Now look, there's no easy way to put this. This is the year that Chicago absolutely needs to confirm that either Justin Fields is the future of the franchise or that it's time to move on. With 2 likely first round draft picks that are possibly the first and second overall pick, they have arguably the best chance at Caleb Williams in the 2024 NFL draft. An elite level talent that plenty of NFL teams will be tanking for when the time comes. Either Chicago lands the first overall pick and select him themselves, or once again, trade away the pick for a huge haul that could help construct the roster for long-term success. For that to be an option, Justin Fields needs to play extremely well, and so far that just hasn't been the case. The first 3 games of the season were just dreadful. Fields threw 4 picks in 3 games, the Bears went 0-3, and fans were reaching for the panic button immediately. Not only were they losing, but Justin Fields was missing wide open reads, running straight into pressure, and was only averaging 4 rushes a game, failing to do any damage on the ground. These performances led to Fields making comments about coaching being a potential reason for his early struggles.
Coaching, I think, but at the end of the day, it makes it, they're doing their job when they're giving me, what to look at.
And trust me, I don't think that they were the problem. It isn't exactly a good look for the franchise quarterback to be putting the blame somewhere else. Like, damn, bro, you got to take some accountability. But equally, he might have a point. It looked as though the Bears coaching staff was trying to encourage Fields to be a stand-in-the-pocket quarterback, which makes no damn sense when he ran for over 1,000 yards the previous year is beyond me. But watching the tape, that did appear to be the case. Offensive coordinator Luke Kelce was hired in January of 2022, and the focus during the offseason was clearly molding a far more dangerous passing attack than the Bears had in their first season. Kelce was hired in Chicago because he had proven himself as somebody who could create a playoff caliber passing attack. There's just one glaring issue there. Justin Fields isn't Aaron Rodgers. As talented as Fields is, very few players possess the touch of Aaron Rodgers, nor the experience or savvy that the future Hall of Famer has shown throughout his career. A lot of what Aaron Rodgers is, Justin Fields is not, and vice versa. Aaron Rodgers is never going to slice through a defense for 130 plus rushing yards, which Fields did last season 3 times. With the addition of DJ Moore and a focus on improving the passing game, Kelce and the offensive coaching staff nullified what Fields was good at in 2022. The rushing threat was gone, and Fields was overthinking just about everything while trying to remain in the pocket.
He's being reactive rather than proactive. You could watch it with his feet. He's like, what are you doing? I don't know where to look. There's too many examples of that. So this is one of 2 things. He either can't see the field and can't read defenses, or he has absolutely zero trust and belief in what he's looking at.
I mean, videos even started emerging online of Fields missing wide open targets downfield and instead pulling the ball down and taking a sack instead of trying to escape the pocket late. The offensive identity was gone. The situation against Tampa Bay was ludicrous. Lazy play calling cost the Bears, made Fields look bad, and had the fan base losing their minds. What are the Chicago Bears trying to be? What's the offensive game plan? Is the skill set of Luke Kelce just not the right fit for the talent that Justin Fields possesses? I mean, look at this. Justin Hurts' circumstances in Philadelphia are the perfect example of molding your offense around what your quarterback is good at. The Eagles allowed Hurts to run, built it into the game plan with a lot of quarterback options, and then worked play action, RPOs, and shots downfield into the plan to terrify opponents' defenses. And it's worked. The Eagles made the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts became one of the highest paid players in the game, and Philadelphia became one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. Another example, Tua Tagovailoa's situation in Miami is now the same. Brian Flores was a defensive coach, and as the head coach in Miami, he failed to hire a coordinator who understood Tua or could help him reach his potential. Look at him now with Mike McDaniel. He's thriving. The coaching staff matters, and getting it wrong can cost a head coach and his staff their jobs. On the surface, it feels as though Chicago have done a woeful bad job of supporting Fields during his young career. The protection up front has been dreadful. The level of talent available to him via pass catching options has been extremely underwhelming until they finally bought into DJ Moore. And the scheme looked so bad in the passing game that the Bears quickly became the laughingstock of the league, with the analysts scratching their heads as to what they've been working on all summer once the season got underway. However, some of this does sit on Fields himself. His progressions are off, and he isn't seeing the field anywhere near as well as he should be in his 3rd season as a pro. To credit them where it is due though, Justin Fields has played far better in weeks 4 and 5. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, 4 against both the Broncos and the Commanders in back-to-back weeks. And his yards per attempt are up in those 2 games in comparison to the first 3. If Chicago can play at this standard consistently, they'll have a good idea as what they want to do with Fields at the end of the season. But that potential in the draft is going to hang over them until a final decision is made in April. Right now, the Bears and Panthers have 1 win between them. Carolina is 0-5 and struggling tremendously, and the Chicago Bears are just starting to find a little momentum with a 1-4 start to the year. So with both picks in their back pocket, the chances that the Bears are either at the very top of the draft or at least within reaching distance appear to be pretty high. But I want to know what you guys would do. Let us know down in the comments down below, or if you can, join our free Discord in the link in the description and let us know there. I mean, they'll have a shot at Caleb Williams, and passing on him to continue with Fields could potentially turn into one of the biggest blunders in NFL history.